Yeah. Afternoon, everyone. 5:30. So I declare tonight's forum meeting open, which is at 5:30. Just a reminder before I start, this is a question and answer night. So councillors can ask questions about the reports that are presented, and we'll make decisions on it next Wednesday at the ordinary council meeting. And for members of the public, there are two sections where you can participate, and that's item number 6, which is public questions, and then, or item number 8, which is petitions, presentations and deputations. And I'll lead you through that as we get to those items. So declaration of opening. So we have the sad news, acknowledge the passing of former councillor Terry Little, who passed away on the 1st of June 2026. So it's great, with great sadness, that we acknowledge the passing of former Shire of Northam councillor and Deputy President Terry Little on the 1st of June 2026. Terry first served on the Shire of Northam Council from May 1994 to June 2007 and played an important part in the 2027 amalgamation of both the town and the Shire of Northam, which is now known as the Shire of Northam. Throughout his years of service, Terry worked alongside myself, the current president, along with several elected members who are sitting around this room or not in the room at the moment, including former Shire presidents Councillor Llewellyn, Councillor Antonio, Councillor Sheehan and Councillor Pollard. So Terry, or Councillor Little, ex-Councillor Little, Terry Little, was the only councillor to have served with my father on the Shire of Northam, as it was then, and with myself. So that's an achievement. So we've got to congratulate Terry on that. Following the amalgamation, Terry continued his service as a councillor with the Shire of Northam from 2007 in a merged entity to 2021. During this time, Terry served as Deputy Shire President from 2013 to 2018 and made significant contributions to the community through his dedication, leadership and commitment to local government. Some of the major achievements and initiatives delivered during Terry's time on council include Wundowie's Heritage Town status 2011, development and adoption of the Wundowie Community Plan 2016 to 2026. Terry advocated for investment in recreation and tourism infrastructure within the Wundowie area. Terry was part of the Wundowie Water Tank Art project called Tanked in 2021. Terry was part of the development of the Wundowie RV Friendly Park. Terry had ongoing community planning and investment associated with the western communities of the Shire following the amalgamation of the town and the Shire of Northam in 2007. And I can attest to that. Terry was a fierce warrior of the western part of the Shire. Terry saw through the implementation and opening of major projects such as the Northam Aquatic Facility in 2020 and Billiard Court Woodgee in 2018. Outside of his role as a councillor, Terry worked for many years with the Department of Fire and Emergency Services, known as DFES. In this role, Terry worked closely with local governments and volunteers across the region and was highly respected for his professionalism, knowledge and willingness to support others. Terry's contribution to emergency services and community safety left a lasting impact on many people throughout the wheat belt. And many people who work with Terry remind me of that, and they congratulate Terry on his work. The Shire of Northam extends its sincere condolences to Kay, Terry's family, friends, and everyone who had the privilege of working alongside him. We acknowledge and thank Terry for his many years of dedicated service to the Shire and the wider community. We will remember you. Item number 2 is opening procedures. 2.1 is acknowledgement of country. So I'd like to invite Deputy Shire President Councillor Mancelli to present acknowledgement to country.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Shire of Northam acknowledges the continuing connection of Aboriginal people to country, culture and community, and embraces the vast Aboriginal cultural diversity throughout Australia. On the land of the Balladong Nyungar and Whadjuk Nyungar people where we meet, we acknowledge and pay respect to our elders, past and present.
Thank you, Councillor Mancelli. Item 2.2 is recording of council meetings. Members of council are aware, and members of the gallery, that's members of the public, are advised that this meeting is being live streamed and audio recorded, and it's made available on the Shire of Northam's YouTube channel. If members of the public would like to have access to the recording of this meeting, they can do so via the Shire of Northam website. Item number 3 is attendance. So it's still on page 7 of our agenda. 3.1 attendees. As per usual, I'll go from left to right and welcome councillors. Welcome Councillor Williams. Welcome Councillor Hughes. Welcome Councillor Mancelli. President Tony, who's myself. Welcome Councillor Biglin. We'll just get Councillor Ryan is on his way, so we'll be noted what time Councillor Ryan arrives. And we've got an apology, which we'll get to, and welcome to the staff. So welcome Chief Executive Officer, Ms. Terralink, Executive Manager Engineering Services, Mr. Devsich, Executive Manager Development and Community Services, Mr. Hunt, Executive Manager Corporate Services, Mr. Streets, Manager Governance and Risk, Ms. McCall, and Governance and Risk Officer, Ms. Blase. They are the staff and officers in attendance at the moment. So we go to page 8. So we have item 3.2 is apologies. We have an apology from Councillor Girac for tonight's forum meeting only, and any other apologies we'll deal with next week. Item 3.3 is approved leave of absence. That is nil. Item 3.4, absent is nil. We now go to page 9, which is disclosure of interest. We have a few, so I'll read them out, and I'll just, as we get to the item, I'll read them out again. So we have from Councillor Williams, it's 13.1.2, which is Northern Airfield Management Agreement. One of Councillor Williams' sisters and brother-in-law leases hangar at the Northern Airfield. And then I'll just go through 13.1.4, proposed lease of Northern Airfield hangar sites 42 to 47. Councillor Williams has again declared impartiality, and it's for the same reason, so that is there. We have 13.1.3, item 13.1.3, reserve 43257, Garrigan Close Northern. Councillor Mancelli has declared impartiality. The adjoining landowners are known to Councillor Mancelli. President Antonio, that's myself, has declared impartiality. Neighbouring landowners are known to President Antonio. And Councillor Biglin has declared impartiality for the same item. Adjoining landowners are known to Councillor Biglin. There is one for 14.1, that is behind closed doors. So I'll read that out as we get to that item. And councillors are well aware, as the item comes up, you can make a declaration prior to the discussion on the item, and we still make a declaration before we make a decision next week. So then we go to page 10, which is item number 5. That's announcements by the presiding member without discussion. That is as presented. And then we go to page 12, which is item number 6, which is public questions, which is one of the times when the members of the public can participate. So I will defer to the members of the gallery, members of the public, if there's any questions you'd like to ask. So no, so I do have 2 questions that were submitted, so I will just read them out. So it's, question 1 is from Ms. Balfour Cunningham of Northam. So question 1, on what council meeting date and under what agenda item number was the cryptocurrency mining facility development at 239 Yilgarn Ave approved by council as a warehouse storage in inverted commas land use? The response to question 1, and I just want to remind people this question was asked by a different member of the public and was answered at the May ordinary council meeting for the forum. It was answered in May. So it's exactly the same answer. In September 2025, a development application for a crypto mining warehouse at 239/lot 881 Newgarden Ave, Malabane was approved under delegation. Question 2. Agenda item 13.1.3 states that reserve 43257 is subject to a management order in favour of the Shire of Northern. However, Crown Land Title LR3104/360 identifies the primary interest holder under management order F7H9595 as the Town of Northern, which was abolished on 1 July 2007. What document, instrument, statutory provision or other authority does the Shire rely upon to conclude that the Shire of Northern is the current holder or successor to the interest vested under management order F789595? Response to question 2. The Shire relies on the Northern District Order 2007 made by the Governor in Executive Council under Local Government Act 1995 and published in the Government Gazette on 8 June 2007. Clause 3 of the order abolished the districts called Shire of Northern and the Town of Northern on 1 July 2007. Clause 4 declared the new district named it Northern and designated as a Shire from and including 1 July 2007. The Local Government Act 1995 provides that when an area of the state becomes a district, a local government is established for that district as a body corporate with perpetual succession and legal capacity. The corporate name of the local government is a combination of the district's designation and name being the Shire of Northern. The Shire also notes that the Municipality Boundary Amendments Register, published in the Government Gazette on 29 October 2007, records the abolition of the former Town and Shire of Northern and the creation of the current Shire of Northern from 1 July 2007. On that basis, the reference on the Crown Land title to the former Town of Northern reflects the historical name of the primary interest holder at the time of registration rather than the current legal status of the local government following the 2007 amalgamation. The Shire of Northern is a local government created for the Northern District and is a successor local government for the purposes of the interests formerly held by the Town of Northern. That is the question submitted. So just checking there's no more questions. So then we go to item number 7, response to previous public questions taken on notice. That is nil, excuse me. Item number 8 is still on page 12. Item number 8 is receiving of petitions, presentations and deputations. 8.1 petitions are nil. 8.2 presentations are nil. 8.3 deputations. I do know that we've got one, so I'm just going to invite you up to go up to the microphone, put it on please, and just state your name and where you're from.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for accepting me here tonight. My name is Jenny Peters and I live in Northern. I'm speaking as Chair of the Northern Army Camp Heritage Association. I'll read out the document and then I'll send a copy around. In 1997, the community of the Town of Northern requested a museum to be built to celebrate Northern's history. The museum was built beside Bernard Park on the river's edge. Nigel Peters was the curator of the centre place. There was a lot of support for visitors coming to Northern by train. The visitor centre moved from Pajura Street to the building when it opened. The visitor centre and the museum were operated by volunteers and later on some paid staff. In 2007, when the Shire and the Town of Northern amalgamated, the Shire took over responsibility of the exhibits. In 2018, Northern went through a lot of growth, both private development and Shire development. These included building BKB, demolishing the commercial hotel, opening up the village green, renovating the boulevard and installing solar panels, building the village square, renovations to Farmers Arts Hotel, which is the Dome, including a landscaping down to the river, new accommodation for the Rec, formerly the Duke's Inn, landscaping of Bernard Park with improved parking and the demolition of the old daycare. The visitor centre was not upgraded and the Centre Place exhibition was downsized. NARJA organised 4 multicultural festivals from 21 to 24. These were popular but very stressful with regards to grant applications and organising performers with limited value for money long-term for NARJA. A review of NARJA's objectives of the association resulting in updating their objects to meet more relevant needs in the present environment. The objects of the association are to be the forum in which issues of local heritage are discussed and resolved, to protect, preserve and promote history and heritage of the Northern Army Camp, which includes the Army, the POW and post-war II migration of displaced migrants, to coordinate and support the efforts of members in the pursuit of heritage and historical issues affecting their operation and direction, to be inclusive and supportive of cultural and linguistically diverse communities and promote activities of cultural significance. So they are all our objectives. NARJA recognises that the current volunteers members are aging and to ensure the continuation of work for the community, that priorities need to be changed while taking advantage of opportunities as they come along. NARJA is currently working on the digitalisation of their collection. Thank you to the Shire of Northern for the renovation of Room 15 at the old Northern Railway Station. The project has been funded by Lottery West for the hardware to record items as well as touchscreen to be mounted on the wall and a kiosk. The total project amount is $16,000. An additional $5,000 has been applied to have the correct storage and filing system from National Libraries Australia. The NARJA website is currently being updated and it is hoped that it can include some videos from the storytelling event on the 22nd of August at the Northern Army Camp. This is a special invitation for the Department of Defence. To record those stories professionally is costing us $20,000, of which it was too short a time to get a whole grant. So we've now put down 4 grants of $5,000. And thanks to Jamie Hawkins, who continuously gives us letters of support. Thank you. NARJA has been looking for opportunities to improve the presentation of the collections and attract more volunteers. Towards Fairness, a multicultural Australia for all is the current report from the Australian Government Home Affairs Department with regards to immigration issues. There is a grant open at present until the 12th of November 2026 this year for $100,000 to $500,000 to deliver physical infrastructure for multicultural communities. Infrastructure for multicultural grants is not open to local governments, right? So if we go for it, we need your support. The visitor centre could be restored with the purpose to be used as a multicultural hub to complement BKB. Upgrading the internal fit-out to include touchscreens, kiosks with information about different communities, traditions and current challenges would improve understanding. There are 48 different ancestry countries listed in the census. Workshops and special events could also increase attendance. The infrastructure grant requires a co-payment of 25%, which would go to Lottery West for Arts and Culture Infrastructure Grant Program, is a specific grant to cover the cost of equipment to provide accessible to fit for purpose infrastructure to bring communities together. The grant is only open from the 2nd of July 2026 to the 10th of August 2026. Both these grants are linked to the use of the visitor centre and can be affected by how long the building is being closed. NARJA has responded to the CEO's letter with a request for a meeting on the 25th of June and would like to put on notice possible further submission to the Council for July meeting, as NARJA is unable to meet the time frame for the June meeting because we got the letter from the CEO on the 2nd of June. So in your procedures you say 10 to 14 days, is that correct? to bring this.
Sorry, could you just clarify? So I've sent a letter in response to the last council decision. Yes,
And we are responded to it.
yes, that's
And
fine.
requested for the meeting to be on the 25th of June.
Yes,
Okay?
Yes.
But we haven't had a reply. So,
that's fine. You'll be getting a reply very soon.
okay. So, what we'd like to do for the July meeting is to bring a business plan. How long before the meeting do you need to see?
Would you be doing that as part of a deputation? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, we are working hard. The
Yes, yes, I understand that, Jenny. Thank you. So in terms of the July meeting, the forum is the 22nd of July and the council meeting itself is the 29th of July, I believe. So you can bring it along with you when you do a deputation, and then we can register it and consider it after that.
Okay. All right. So thank you tonight, and thank you for allowing me to speak. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any further members of the public who'd like to make a deputation?
Dear Presidents and Councillors, I feel that residential rates are up, CEO pay is up, transparency is down, accountability is down. The Shire of Northam recently unveiled its Walk of Fame, recognising individuals who helped shape our community. The first inductee was the Honourable George Stossel. Learning more about Mr. Stossel has been fascinating. I wonder what he would have thought of today, knowing that we can cars are so affordable, we can get in a car and travel pretty much halfway across the Shire in less than half an hour. Or would he have looked at our roads and marvelled at the engineering of them and the machinery that we can use today? And even today, it's affordable for some people to have their own plane, a Cessna, and travel around the Wheatbelt in a very short amount of time. And of course, you would have probably been happy that the railways are still just as important as they always were. But I also wonder what he would think about local government today. My understanding is he was not known as a party politician. He was known for judging issues on their merits and for believing that public policy should be openly explained and accountable to the people. In May 1902, he stated, "The country was entitled to more information on the question of increasing rates before additional profit was made." He also argued, "There should not be one law for the rich man and another for the poor man." These principles remain relevant today. Residential rates in Northam have increased, and that's an item on the agenda. I think it's like in the section 13 or 14, sorry, apologies. At the same time, the CEO's salary was increased in July 2025 to over 328,000. And some Shire municipal funds seem to be spent on things that most residents can't afford, such as staying at the Hilton in Perth or purchasing tea, milk and coffee from Woolworths. Most people usually, a lot of people go to Aldi because it's more affordable, but I do understand that you guys probably have a corporate card, so that might be why you choose to go there to save with the receipts. But anyway, have we received enough? I feel like Stossel would have said, have we received enough information and justification for those increases? He believed that public policy should be justified openly and its costs explained honestly and its results judged by the people. Transparency matters because it allows ratepayers to understand where the money is going and where value is being delivered. One of my concerns with, apologies, I don't have the item number, but it is in the agenda, is that there is a table given that claims that basically saying that something along the lines of we have pretty good rates in comparison to other shires, and those other shires listed are York, Sujay, Beverley, Huntingdon and Katanning. And so like the rates increases in line with other shires in the area. However, I just will also just like to point out there's actually a mistake with that table. In the last column, it talks about GRV, not UV, when it's talking about the rural rate. But anyway, something I'd like to point out about that is I feel like it's a little bit misleading, because why were those particular shires chosen? I can't really find, I would like to understand that better. Obviously every single shire is different, we all have our different sizes and things, but comparing to, for example, one way of categorising shires is the class system, so where the higher the number, the, I guess, more complex the shire and the higher the salary that the CEO is permitted. So Shire of Northern is a Class 2 shire. All the other shires listed in that table, on that page of today's agenda, are Class 3 and 4 shires. But when looking at, if you were to add on to it some of maybe more similarly classed shires, such as Shire of Harvey, Shire of Manjimup, Shire of Carnarvon, Shire of Murray, you'll find that our GRV rate is 43% higher than Augusta Margaret River, and 40%, I'm talking about residential, I'm not going to speak on rural rates, 40% higher than Murray. Obviously, there's a lot of calculation stuff that goes into that, I'm just making a general comment. Okay, moving on. So residential rates are up, and despite what the agenda says, I feel like they aren't in line with other shires that are similar. And then also just moving on, the question, transparency. Unfortunately, transparency has also declined in some other areas. So in the past, in the municipal financial report, this is an example, and I'm going to leave the business name out because this isn't about the business in particular, and it's not about the price, it's just about the information that's provided. So for example, Northern parts shop, and it will say purchase of X2B4 for S belts for Kubota mower and number plate N3862, $80.28, or something like local mechanic charges for 10,000 kilometre service on Isuzu number plate N10721, $440. However, today when we read those same records, or the same, the equivalent records, it will say something like mechanics, vehicle repairs and maintenance, $513, or part shop, plant repairs and maintenance, $2,167. So I just, what I love about local government is that everyone can get involved and see what's going on, and we can all work together and help each other out. And, you should sort of be accountable. Like, a lot of people run, a lot of the small businesses here in town, I don't know if they would accept those kind of notes, or I know from being in small local community groups that we do, even to spend $50 or $100 on getting a leaf blower or something like that, you have to take it to a council and vote on it, and then justify it, and then that's how it gets explained in the minutes. So it's just something that's interesting to me, is that it seems like that isn't the same with the Shire. And I also feel like, so similarly, the Shire's planning and strategic documents have shifted responsibility on a similar tone, have shifted responsibility for long-standing issues. On the agenda today is the council plan, and the 2022 to 2032 council plan identified funding for Avon River Town Pool Management Plan, which was to have funding available and was to be completed by 2023-24. The new 26 to 36 plan no longer even refers to the town pool as the town pool, it's just called it the Avon River, that happens to be in the middle of Northern, and it proposes to advocate for the state government to take responsibility. And yes, it does talk about developing a foreshore master plan, which is great, but this is just one example of what about it having to be done in 2023-24, where's the answer for that? And there were some other things that were achieved, like water testing and, looking at the wastewater treatment facility, but then if the public wants to look at that, they have to pay $30 an hour or do an FOI or whatever. Anyway, so getting towards the end of this, and I do apologise for being a bit late and everything. So my purpose in raising this issue is not to criticise individuals, rather it is look to whether Northern is still living up to the principles that George Fossils champions, such as explaining decisions openly, providing sufficient information before increasing costs, allowing the public to judge outcomes based on clear and accessible information. Residents are asking whether transparency and accountability are keeping the pace, because we're not in the days where most of the businesses in town had a person's name on it, so if you wanted to go ask them what was going on, you knew who it was, and their honour was tied to the business name. Nowadays, the business owner could be over east or in another country. We don't know. And I don't know, do I have much more time? Because I can have a little section. No, cut me off, that's okay.
And just for the record, you didn't do it at the start? I didn't ask you either.
Oh,
Can you state your
sorry,
name
I
and where you're from?
apologise. Yep, Amber, that's for Cunningham and Northern. Thank you so much.
And if you've got an electronic copy of that.
Yeah, I will, and I put it together so it's not so much the gambles. I think I'll just end by saying, yeah. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I just want to check there were no more deputations from members of the public. No, thank you. So we're still on page 13. So we have item number 9, which is applications for leave of absence, which is nil. Item number 10 is confirmation of minutes. 10.1 is confirmation of minutes from the ordinary council meeting held 27 May 2026. Just wanted to see if there's any questions on that, councillors. Questions, clarifications? No. And then item 10.2 is notes from the council forum meeting that's been held today on the 10th of June 2026. So I will raise that as question and answers for next week. And that item's on page 14. And the members of the public has just reminded me you're quite willing to stay or go at any stage without reference to me. I did forget to say that at the start. So item 10.2 is notes. 11 is items brought forward for the convenience of those in the public gallery. I'm not aware of anything, so I'll just continue as normal. So item number 12, we're still on page 14, is reports of committee meetings. Item 12.1 is audit risk and improvement committee meeting held on the 19th of May 2026. We have both the minutes and the recommendations. Councillors, I just wanted to see if there's any questions or clarifications on that meeting. No? No. So then we go to page 16. And just reminding everyone the minutes of those are under a separate I think. So they're not included here directly in here. So item number 13 is officer reports. 13.1 is the CEO's office. So we're on page 16 now. 13.1.1 is major review council plan 2026 to 36. I don't know if we wanted anyone to give a briefing on that.
Yeah, please. Thank you, presiding member. So every 4 years the Shire is required under the Local Government Act to review its council plan. So this year was the 4-year review, and that has been undertaken. That's been informed by community engagement, particularly through the community scorecard, internal stakeholder workshops, the Shire's long-term financial plan, and also the relevant informing strategies that we have as well. This has been workshopped with community members as well, and we've also workshopped it with council members, and as a result of that there were some changes that have been made. Those key amendments can be seen on page 17 of the agenda. So they were the key changes made to the attachment 2. So I believe attachment 1 is actually the format of the council plan, and attachment 2 is the insert, which are effectively the key priorities under each of the areas and key themes that have been nominated. So it has been a very rigorous process in terms of reviewing the council plan, and that will obviously set the direction informed by the community for the Shire moving forward for the next 4 years when the next major review will be due, and we'll do another desktop review after 2 years as well.
Thank you. Questions or clarifications, councillors? I just want to say to members of the public who are looking at this, we have had a number of workshops and briefings on this, so if there's no questions, that's because we've had plenty of chances in the past. So I'm just checking with councillors if they still could have questions. No questions. So then we go to page 95. So then we have 13.1.2, Northern Airfield Management Agreement. Just a reminder that Councillor Williams declared impartiality in this item, and we'll read that out next week when we actually get to vote. And see, does anyone like to give a briefing on this? I'm going to look to my right.
So the Shire has had a management agreement with the Northern Airfield for a number of years, so that is coming to expiry at the end of June. We did present this to a strategic council meeting to get some feedback on council on which direction it wanted to go in terms of the future management of the airfield. Council's feedback was to continue the arrangement with the Aero Club. They have extensive knowledge in that space and offered the support of continuing in that direction as well. The airfield master plan is something that will also be reviewed in the coming years. It's identified as an action in the council plan, and officers believe it will be a good step in ensuring they have an active participation in that process.
Thank you. Questions or clarifications, councillors?
Good for me.
Yeah, Councillor Mangelli?
Just a very short question. I believe the rate is set on a valuation that was done way back when, about 5 years ago, and it's due for updating this year. Is that correct?
So this doesn't relate to land use. This is around the management. However,
Yeah, okay, sorry.
There is an item for hangars later in this agenda, and there are market rent reviews continuously occurring on hangar sites at the airfield.
We'll take that question to the next item.
I got the wrong item. That's okay.
Further questions, councillors? No further questions. So then we go to page 117. So we have item 13.1.3, reserve 43257, that's Garrigan Close Northern. Just a reminder that Councillor Mancelli, President Antonio, that's myself, and Councillor Bigland all declared impartiality for this item. I'll read them out with the details. I did that at the start of the meeting, but I'll do that next week before we make a decision. See if there was any questions on this one. Oh, sorry, I'll just ask for a briefing first. Please.
This resident did actually request this a number of years ago in relation to essentially getting water to their property from the road reserve. So the plan is essentially to put an easement over a portion of the reserve so that they can install a pipe underground to essentially get water across the reserve to their property.
Any further questions? So I've just got one question that sort of might be related to the Shire or not. I did see something advertised from a real estate company about land around here. Has that got any impact on this? The sound, the looks of that face, no.
Well, this is to do with the reserve, so it's not freehold land.
Yeah, no.
So.
Okay. Thank you. So about that, any other questions, councillors? No? So then we go to page 131. So item 13.1.4, proposed lease of Northern Airfield hangar sites 42 to 47. Just a reminder that Councillor Williams declared impartiality in this item. I'm just going to look to my right and request a briefing, please.
Yep, so council will be aware that we have, there is a high demand for airfield hangar sites at the airfield, and we did receive 50% grant funding to undertake some expansion works at the airfield, which has enabled us to release some more hangar sites. Officers maintain a wait list for the hangar sites, and this person has been very patient for several years and are seeking to construct a hangar which will be subject to obtaining development approval and building approval. But essentially, due to it exceeding the allowable limits under delegated authority, that's come to council because officers can't determine it. So essentially, it's recommended that once council support the disposal, we undertake public advertising as per standard process under section 3.58 of the Local Government Act. And then if there are any significant submissions, we'll bring it back to council for further consideration. If not, it will authorise the CEO to proceed with the disposal. And officers will then prepare a lease and condition that on development approval of the hangar site so the land doesn't get landlocked.
Thank you. Questions, councillors? Councillor Hughes.
The valuation of this was taken in for $6 a square metre, same one I know.
Yeah,
It
sorry.
was taken in the 7th of April 2022. It's 4 years ago.
Yeah,
And
so
we've got to sign off saying that it hasn't changed or we're happy with it.
yeah, so
I think with the
Question.
well, shouldn't the what do you call it?
Valuation.
Sorry?
Valuation.
Yeah, go up because of 4 years of inflation. It'd have to go up a bit.
yeah, so when the leases are established, they do have increases as per CPI and market rent reviews at certain periods. At the moment, we are working to try and align all of the leases so that they have the same market rent review at the same time, so that we can essentially get one valuation for a large portion of the hangar sites. We are actually looking at getting a valuation next financial year. So, sorry, pardon me. If council is wanting us to, I guess, incorporate more like newer rates into this disposal, we can have a look at the wording for next week's report to bring it up to current market rent value. Council will be required to change its policy because the policy does set the market, the rental rates as per the last valuation, and it's also established in the fees and charges. So that's just something council will have to amend as well.
So you can't add inflation. Not according to the policy, is that right?
So the policy, at the time of doing the lease, it's set at that rate, and then once the lease is in place, usually they're long-term leases for about 10 years. They do have CPI increases annually and market rent reviews every, I can't remember how many years, it might be 5 years on the leases as well.
Why can't inflation be added to this one?
Because it's set in the council policy and fees and charges.
Yes.
So if we wanted to do the changes that the officer reported, we just need to advise the officers as quick as possible and then also work on the policy.
We'd have to work on the schedule of fees and charges as well. We'd have to make a change in the fees and charges because I believe this is set by the schedule of fees and charges which was adopted at the last meeting.
So if you've got any want to do that, we'll advise you to do it, ask you to do it quicker than this later.
Yeah.
Councillor Mancelli.
Yeah, Mr. President, I've got a question in regard to the proposed road. I take it that,
On page,
sorry, on page 140, there's a plan of the area from Bay or Hangar 42 through to 47. I assume the road's already in along the front of 33 and 41. Is that correct?
Yes, there already is a cleared,
Area.
unsealed road.
Okay. So obviously it has to be extended and has to be a turnaround at the end. Is that going to result in significant cost to council?
No, so that unsealed road is essentially runs across the whole perimeter of the. It is already there. There's access from the front area of the gate all the way to the front. Yeah.
Just for clarification, we might actually change the wording of that from proposed road to road if now.
The existing road.
We'll update that for the next week's meeting.
Good question. Further questions, councillors? Councillor Williams.
Thank you. So it says Halispex is currently the priority applicant, so they're not the longest waiting applicants? Have there been other applicants that have been on the waiting list long?
No, they are the top applicant on the waiting list. Yeah, so they've been close to 5 years on the wait list.
And just to clarify, Councillor Williams, they are the first on the list
They're
as well
the
as the top?
Yep.
When you say top, you mean the first?
Yeah, so they were interested several years ago, but due to the site not being available, ready, and there was no access to the sites as well. It sort of held up that process of being able to lease those sites out. However, now we've done the upgrade works through the recent project for the apron. Now it's opened those sites up essentially.
And so it says that there's several other applicants remaining. There was no consideration, were they applicants that would have only wanted one hangar each? I mean, you're giving the whole lot that are available.
Yes, so they were for one hangar each, but we based it on priority in terms of first in, first serve, and obviously this applicant does have an economic benefit to the Shire as well.
And follow-up question to that is, this has obviously taken us to our capacity, the way I understand this. Have we got room for expansion, and if so, where?
Yep, so happy for me? Yep.
Yes.
Sorry. So the current airfield master plan, which was developed in 2014, off the top of my head, it does identify future expansion across the runway in the area where the current windsock is. The intent would be to go across. However, when we do look at doing the airfield master plan review, we'll look at other opportunities. There are quite a number of larger sites on the front row of the airfield. There could be potential to create a separate hangar at the back if there's hangars that may not want to develop that rear area, but there is future expansion, yes.
Thank you. Further questions, councillors? No, so then we'll go to page 146. So item 13.2 is engineering services, is nil. 13.3 is development and community services, that is nil. Item 13.4 is corporate services. 13.4.1 is advertising of 2026-27 differential rates. If you downloaded the report before, there was a separate attachment sent as well. So I'll see if there's any questions on this, councillors. No. There was a question, it's probably more for a workshop, there's a question that that Councillor Ryan asked at the workshop. Will we have an answer before the next workshop for that? Yes. The answer is yes. Okay, so just so councillors are aware of that, it's a question Councillor Ryan asked. Any other further questions on that item? So 13.4.1. So then we go to page 146. So the page down. I've obviously got the old speaking the right page number, so apologies for that. Oh, it wasn't there.
Yeah.
So page 146.
146.
146 still?
Yeah, still.
Yeah, so still 146. So then we've got item 13.4.2, accounts and statements of accounts May 2026. Apologies for getting myself lost. See if there's any questions on this. I haven't seen any come from to Mr. Streets via spreadsheet or anything like that. Any other questions or clarifications? Still can do that. I'll just ask. I always say that to councillors. If you do have questions, the sooner you put them in, the better, that Mr. Streets can answer them. So then we go to page 198, if there's no questions, 198. 13.4.3, financial statements for the period ending 31 May 2026. See if there's any questions on this, councillors. No. So then we go to page 222. Which is item 14, matters behind closed doors. So Councillor Mancelli is moving. Councillor Bigley is seconding. I was proceeding to put straight to the vote. All those in favour by show of hands, that's 5. Members of the public are now vacating. we just go back to our standard agenda. We are on page 222. We'll just get our members of the public back. So then on page 222, we have got item number 15, motions of which previous notice has been given is nil. Urgent business approved by decision is nil. Declaration of closure is made at 6:22. Thank you, councillors, for your research and important questions, and thank you, officers, for the professional reports and answering our questions.